I think I found something in the church's basement. Someone's room. The place smells like death. There's packed luggage laying on the floor and clothes all over the ground. This place looks like it's been forgotten, but there's no records of it ever existing. I'm sorry if I haven't been making much sense. I'm all stirred up. I'll take some moments to calm myself down before I continue. Since there are only about 300 of us living here, let me explain some things. Initially, this place was a northern military base. Everyone lived in one main building besides a few people in the town nearby. The building was abandoned a few decades ago and given to a native tribe with the land. Still in great condition at the time, everyone moved into it. At first there were just 20 people, but more started moving in after. I moved in as a building caretaker just a day ago. Not all of us are natives, I sure don't think I am. But the culture is definitely strong in these halls. On all 7 floors you can see signs of Penther everywhere. It took me a while to understand the locals' idea of Penther, so I'll give my best explanation I can. The native tribe that lives here believes in many gods, but above all others, everyone here believes in Penther. At one time they praised him like an omnipotent creator, but now their idea of him is closer to a friendly ghost. They used to have the church for Penther, but it's now just really a community space. It's on the main floor and sits directly above this place, this bedroom. What's strangest about it is the small closed-off space in the corner. The walls, floor, and ceiling are covered in a black and white pattern, almost hypnotic. There is this one old wooden chair in the middle, and 5 belts laying on the floor. I've asked the people around here about this room, but they don't even know about the place under the church. I thought this was just the aftermath of a really eccentric squatter. But then I found this journal. There's some pages ripped out. I'll see if I can find them some other time. This thing is pretty messed up though. I really hope it's one big lie, for the sake of the people living here. October 11th, 1961. My name is Paula Kama. I don't really know how to start one of these, which I guess is kind of ironic. I've had dozens of patients do these, but I've never tried it myself. You are supposed to listen to my thoughts while I try to become part of the new community. I guess I can start off by talking about that. I don't really have a place among the others. Everyone else has brought a certain skill to this home, except me. I'm a psychologist. So in the future, I might be needed, but for now, I'm no better than dead weight. In a way, it's sort of ironic. Out in the world, I was miles ahead of these people. My tribe had once even had me speak to the youth in efforts to inspire them for greatness. I don't know why I chose to live here. I think I just got bored. Maybe I can find something to help with. October 23rd, 1961. Robert has given me the job of collecting firewood. I think it's completely baffling that we're using firewood to heat a building this size. I've been secretly calling the gas company at a nearby town, trying to coax them into hooking up the building to a system. I know that I'm already screwing with the first real task anyone has trusted me with here, but I think they're gonna like it. I've tried mingling with the other people here, but I guess I'm used to living with city people. I don't really know how else to put it. I don't mean to be rude, but it's like we all grew up in different countries. All they talk about is fishing, hunting. Actually, that's it. The other day, I tried talking to Alan about a popular TV show. You know what he said? He said he doesn't own a TV. I'm pulling out my hair here trying to fit in. October 25th, 1961. A local kid in the nearby town went missing the other day. Guess who found him? I was taking the usual path through the woods when I found a really shitty looking fort. The boy had run away from home to live under a pile of sticks. My god, this kid was dumb. Anyway, he turned out to be the fucking grandson of the guy that runs the local gas plant. Let's just say I won't have to be collecting wood in a week from now. I'm not sure how Lester will take it, as he's always talking about how nice the smell of burning wood is, but natural gas. Also, yes, I'm trying to curse more. If this diary is supposed to represent my thoughts, then I need to fucking write in it how I want to think. Oh, why am I doing this? I haven't mentioned this as I'm trying to be tolerant of it, but everyone here swears non-stop. Every other fucking word. This is beginning to play out like a nature documentary. In order to accept into the tribe, I must first show myself worthy by speaking the native tongue. October 29th, 1961. It's amazing how fast things can turn around for someone. Just in a few weeks, I was the black sheep, and now I'm the hero of our little community. We still have fires, but now it's only for fun. I finally feel like I'm one of the group. Robert has even invited me over to his apartment for dinner with his family. Tally even asked me a few hours later in the hall, and I'm having dinner with her tomorrow. There's even a room in the basement I've been eyeing for a while now. I think I'm going to move there. Everyone lives above the first floor, but I like this room. It needs some fixing up, though. The main water supply pipes leak through the wall, but I'll make it work. It's a massive room, almost the entire floor. November 23rd, 1961. It's been a while since I've written here, so let me update you on what's happened so far. But I need to be short. I have a date with Tally soon. Yeah, I've started dating Tally. It's been pretty great. Hell, it's been the best goddamn thing in my life. I moved into the basement since my last entry. It took a while fixing it up, but the place is a palace now. Tobias has brought some people to move into the building. They seem fine. One of them used to go to therapy, so guess who got a new job? I think the guy's name is Alf. He seems alright, but my first session with him is in 2 days. Oh shit, I can hear Tally calling me. November 25th, 1961. Oh my fucking god. Jesus Christ, for fuck's sake. I don't think there's enough phrases to express what happened with Alfonso. I know I should restrict writing about him to work notes, but this guy is fucking mental. I read up on his history, which was really concerning on its own, but in person he seemed just fine. The psychiatrist he was seeing before me had him taking some really serious drugs. Anti-hallucinogens, heavy metals, intense dopamine restrictors. Basically everything you could imagine. He should be dull as a brick with all those drugs, but he seems to be fully functional, so I'm led to believe he's not taking them now. Now I'm not a psychiatrist, so I can't get involved with his medication. The best I can do is nod and not run for the door. I have some time, so I'll explain what happened. Actually, an hour before we had an appointment, I bumped into him on the main floor. I was just leaving the miniature supermarket that Sam had set up a few weeks back when I saw him just arrive. He seemed to be in a great mood. Alf was giving nothing but positive vibes. I'm either shit at my job or this guy is the grand master at acting normal. Later, I make my way over to the office and wait for him. He comes in, sits down normally, but then the shit show begins. He starts to tell me how a virus is spreading through the halls. People losing their mind all over the place. Others eating each other. And just when I think there's a limit to his insanity, he starts to tell me about how the insects are watching him. In his head, he is the center of the universe. And that universe is fucked beyond recognition. There are doors that lead to walls, mountains that blow in the breeze, and beings that devour dreams. As it stands, I don't think he's dangerous. He mentioned that deep down he can see reality, but I'm worried he's losing the fight. He's a danger to himself, if anyone. February 4th, 1962. An incredibly long time since I've written, but nothing has really happened. Well, I guess that's not true, but every time I pick up this journal to write something down, I see my last entry, and then whatever I was going to say seems unimportant. Today, though, it's a different story. Today, I asked Tally to marry me. I'll update on this later today, but for now, I'll just go over some of these unimportant things. A little while back, I started off on Alf's treatment. It really hasn't been working, so I've been looking into deep hypnotic therapy. I think it might help, or at least start with his recovery from whatever happened. Although, if I do choose this path for him, I'm going to need to set up a room in the basement for it. I'm starting to regret being a psychologist. The town nearby had a Christmas parade that some of us volunteered in. I watched it myself, but I would have definitely joined in if Tally would have told me she was in it. Instead, she shared the float with Robert. But I am the one marrying her. Well, hopefully. Alright, like I said, nothing interesting. I'll be going now. I have a very special date planned. February 4th, 1962. She said yes. November 23rd, 1963. The president was killed yesterday. The mood here has been really down. There's barely anyone in the halls. For the most part, I've been trying to comfort Tally, but I'm genuinely worried about Alf. Something like this is going to just ring on the same frequency as his paranoia. While I'm on the same topic, I went forward with the deep hypnotic treatment. I set up a small room with strobe lights and patterned surfaces in the basement. Tally calls it the brainwashing room, and I guess I see it. It's weird how people figure this stuff out, but it does work well. Alf has been getting better, albeit slowly. I'm not personally worried about this country. It's just a person getting shot. I don't really think the president does all that much. Everything has to get passed through multiple other people before anything happens, so he has little to no power at all. But still, anyone being killed is a shame. I hope we catch the fucker who killed him, though. December 26th, 1963. Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. I went too far. This is really bad. Remember when I said I was worried about how the news in November would affect Alf? Well, I guess I was right. How fucking nice. Last night, we had the Christmas party. And like adults, we had alcohol. Alf has too much to drink, so he says he's going to go to bed early that night. I even thought, good for him. Once me and Tally head to our room in the basement, we hear the door lock behind us. Alf was in the fucking room. He starts going on about how I'm part of some secret group, how I'm responsible for the virus. Tally was visibly scared, and I told her to lock herself in the bathroom. For some reason, Alf waits for her to go in there before he pulls a knife out of his pocket. It wasn't even hard to disarm him. He was just stumbling around drunk, even fell on his own. Then in the back of my mind, I saw an opportunity. Alf was dangerous, and now I had the perfect chance. I wasn't myself. I wasn't anyone. Just an idea. When I snapped back to reality, it was like I had blacked out. My mind had gone on a brief holiday while my body took over. The knife was in my hands, and there was blood everywhere. Tally came out of the bathroom for a quick moment, and then ran back inside, hiding from me. I don't even know what she saw. I could barely see anything. I was more focused on figuring out what happened, and then it sunk in. Everything came back to me in a slow, petrifying wave of regret and change. It was like an epiphany, and then I broke. I fucking cut a hole in the bathroom door and crawled in. Tally was screaming at me to stop, throwing anything she could grab at me. I just wanted her to forget. Briefly ignoring her, I opened the cabinet and pulled out a jar of muscle relaxants. Slowly, I walked up to her and pushed half the pills in the jar down her mouth. She was gagging every time I forced my fingers down her throat, but soon she was limp. I opened the bathroom door and dragged her into Al's treatment room. Being careful as not to hurt her, I gently strapped her to the chair with some belts and started my work. I was done around 4 a.m. and left her in there as I worked cleaning up the mess. As for now, Tally is completely fine. She doesn't even remember who Alf is. Toby's group is going to start asking questions soon, so... Fuck. This isn't me. But what else can I do? Do I have to get every person here into that room? I don't see a way around it. I don't think I should write in here for a while. January 3rd, 1963. This is a lot sooner than I planned to write in this journal, but I thought this was important. I want to start off. Well, I already started, but anyway, I've started. Fuck, it's impossible to write this without sounding weird. I'm just going to say it plain and simple. I've been kidnapping people in the building and hypnotizing them into forgetting about Alf. This has really gotten out of hand. I deserve all of it. Hell, if I get arrested, I deserve that too. Every time I start work on someone, I secretly hope it won't work. Maybe they will see something I'm doing and call the police. I just want this to stop. The important thing I wanted to talk about, though, is the new idea I had the other day. There's this guy, some new person that happens to be related to Alf. He was asking people questions. I couldn't get to him. Then I had a weird idea. If no one could see me, I could drug him in plain sight. I actually could do anything. The last people I've worked on can no longer see me. I've instructed them to constantly be oblivious of my presence, but they can still talk to me if spoken to. Once out of sight, they completely forget about me unless instructed otherwise. How hypnotism works is a person is suggested into behaving a certain way. If they are told to do something they think is wrong, the spell breaks. I don't know what they would do if they saw me doing something they consider wrong, but I don't really want to take the chance. I'm afraid that I'm getting consumed by this, but it offers me the life I've always wanted. I can be a good person, me and Tally, once I tell her. January 1st, 1964. I thought I would start off this year with an entry. Just a few days from 2-year break. It wasn't the plan. I've been very busy. Last year I broke up with Tally. I told her about what I was doing and she didn't take it well. I couldn't let anyone else just have her, so I had it jump off the roof. I said before that hypnotized people won't do things they think are wrong. So when I told her to jump from the roof, I didn't really expect her to do it. But I guess deep down she was still manic from the news. I felt bad about it, but it was in a burst of anger that a few of my words sealed her fate. It took a while for me to get over it, but I think I'm better than before. I now have every person in the building under my control. It's weird to read it. Makes me all giddy inside. The truth is, I don't meddle much with the others' lives. Money goes missing here and there when I need to go into the town, but for the most part, I live free. I have actually gotten into the hobby of being a secret guest. I'll have people let me into their room and forget about me, and then I just watch them live. It's peaceful. I feel like a ghost. May 23rd, 1967. Last night I was watching Patrick and Linda make love in their bedroom. I remember the first time I spectated two people have sex without being aware of me. It was exciting, scary, but mostly erotic. Over time I got numb to it. Now I just watch because that's what they're doing. I can feel my human desires leaving. I am no longer held down by my species' flaws. It's as if I have ascended into a higher being, both physically and mentally. What makes me different than their god? I agree, nothing does. That's why I am having them build a church above the basement. When I leave my room, I will enter the world through my shrine, and when I go to rest, it will be as if I am leaving into the heavens themselves. They are going to start calling me their god, Penther. I got the name from a guy in town, chanting about some swords and bullshit. Gregory is engraving my name on a large piece of cedar because I told him to. He thinks he's speaking with a god, and he's kind of right. March 4th, 1969. A good amount of people have moved in since my last scriptural writing. One day 12 arrived at once. It seems we are letting anyone live here now, but that's okay. I'll sort them out. It was difficult picking people off from the group one by one. Robert seems to be the most willing to act violent when influenced by my divine word. He was greatly helpful in bringing people down into the room. One of the single women in the building is now bearing my child. That child will be my prodigy, and I will make it my successor. The church now sees the baby as the Messiah. Every day I listen to the people chant my name in the church, calling for my blessing. I used to have power trips during these moments, but now something else. On a side note, I saw a movie last night, Night of the Living Dead. It reminded me of some of the things Alf talked about. It's weird to think in a way he started all of this. June 14th, 1983. I've actually written a lot since the 4th of March, 1969. I did terrible things then. Things that I will always regret. I tore those pages out. I couldn't look at the book for a long time. But yet I could never bring myself to destroy that history. I think I'll touch on what's happened. My daughter, Julia, she's no longer the Messiah. I had her mother take her to another city, and the church supports them both. The fact that she thought she gave birth a virgin was covered by the lie of adoption. I know I could have done better, but the change was sudden. The change. In a way, I wish it never happened. But it did. One night I went to bed a god, and then I woke up. For a brief moment I looked at the big picture, took a real analysis of what I was doing, and then I was filled with terror. It's similar to the feeling a great philosopher once called the devil's laugh. The magic had vanished, and I was human again. I've been trying to fix my mistakes for years now, but some wounds will never mend. I miss my old life every day, and I don't think that's ever going to change. I even miss Alf, but nothing compares to the constant disappointment in myself when I think of Tally. There's no better word than monster for describing what I was. The only thing that lets me sleep at night is the thought that I've changed. The world I've trapped myself in is destructive. People now rely on me in their daily lives, and more people continue to arrive. I'm currently trying to ease the population off the dependence of me like a drug, but I fear they can never be truly independent again. The effects of long-term hypnosis are starting to be seen. Some people just break down during the day for a few seconds at a time, and others lose their sense of identity. There have even been a few suicides in the last few years. Each one avoidable if I got there in time. The first time someone in the building tried to end their life was 4 years ago. It was a girl that had been living here for a while. Her name was Leslie. In the years I have left to live, I will never be able to repent for what I did to her. The trauma I had caused the girl pushed her over the edge. She wasn't supposed to be able to remember those things, but I guess the damage stayed. I was on the roof at the time. I don't want to say what I was doing when she started to walk towards the edge. I asked her what was happening, and she told me of her pain. A simple instruction convinced her to go back to her room. The next time she did it, though, I just watched. Maybe that was the tipping point, but in contrast to the things I was doing at the time, I doubt I even gave it another thought. September 13th, 1996. I can feel my old age beginning to drag me down. Every day it takes more and more energy to wake up. I'm beginning to worry one day I won't have the strength to pull myself from my slumber, and I'll just slip away. It's not the worst thing I can imagine, but I want to leave this place before I lay my head for the last time. In the recent years, I have managed to fully wean people off their dependency of me. They still attend the church that I built for them, but instead of the mass worship cries to the heavens, they spend their time together as a community. While I don't meddle with people's affairs anymore, I still do what I can to help with small tasks, whenever they show themselves. The other day I heard a woman in the halls saying she wanted to take up painting in her retired life. Later that day, I went into town and purchased a whole paint set, and set it up in her room. These tasks have begun to help me cope with the past. A few years back, I met my daughter. She's grown into a wonderful person, and I am so proud of her. I met her in the town under the alias of our father's close friend. She told me her mother had raised her under the idea that her father was always here, instead of being adopted. And I guess she never changed the story before she killed herself when Rebecca was 18. I thank my child's mother for waiting until she was an adult, but I can still... A part of me feels sick that she would end her life with a child. But then am I to blame? I feel disappointment. Rebecca works as a lawyer in a city out west. I could not be more proud of her. When she left, I felt a new low. Back at the building, I asked myself why I didn't tell her I was her father. I think I was scared. I'm going to try to find her once I get out of here, but I'm running out of time. There's only one thing I need to fix before I leave this place. But is it more important than my daughter? I don't even know if she is my daughter. I was never her father. Questions like these cloud my thoughts. That was the last journal entry. I had to abruptly leave the place yesterday, but I am now convinced it's real. I'll talk more about it later. Before that, while cleaning out the room, I found some of the pages he removed. I don't mean to disrespect him by including these, but the world needs to know. Still, I can't share all of it. Some things should be forgotten. In some way, maybe this can be his redemption. August 22nd, 1971. I continue to further agree with the divine words I have inscribed of myself before the present time. Any follower that wishes to disrespect my absolute name under my eye will be made an example of. Last sun, a man cursed with the holy sound of Penther. The rays of rising sun will sparkle on the blood that writes his apology. As my people become further devout to my awe, the instructions that they follow greatly increase. Under the conditions Penther's name is involved. 7 suns back, my absoluteness commanded a woman to remove her eyelid. Obeying, the woman plucked it from her face. I can envision a future where any command will be followed obediently, without question. April 7th, 1972. The new generation is perhaps my greatest gift. Children born into the world of Penther will act upon any command. A follower began to lose his way several suns back, and required divine punishment. I assisted his son in behealing the heaven of the dreamt, and worked with the child until the moon had fallen, removing his father's face. For a week, the child wore the heathen's mask and took his place in our church. As the skin began to rot, the boy was accepted as the new keeper of word. The sky moves ever closer to me. The heavens grab at me every day, but I will not abandon my people. The choice of mine angers nature herself, so in punishment, I must forget my past. Nature treats me like some cog in the machine, a crime I will not forgive. The followers under her tempestuous bosom will be weeded out. They will rub their hands against rock walls in the moon's light, scraping off the skin, off the nail, off the mark of the mother herself, off their treachery. The room of conversion has now forgotten rest. In my slumber the nights dance into the room, and shadows creep away in waves. I am entering a cocoon, one I will re-emerge from, so divine in spirit, all will praise my name. October 28th, 1973. Time lingered further than my predictions spoke of, but my metamorphosis is almost complete. Any day I will creep from the shell that encapsulates me, stepping out a new being. A god. As the present continues, my place of rest has been relocated to the conversion room. I slumber suspended upwards, merging, forever growing closer, the light and the dark. Every moon, my followers group above me and perform a sacred ceremony. They chant to the sky so the words can trickle down and guide my transformation. Azoha, Azula, Azaya, they repeat in their ultimate devotion. These words do not hold information to their users, but instead purpose, a power much more great. July 3rd, 1975. Are there others? I met someone last sun. Could they have been another? The few times I embark into town, I expect to see a glimpse of the life of my followers. But it is clear that I have left my human prison behind. They must have, indeed. Some kind of trance. No, it would need to be engraved on the human soul from birth. But then again, the children can see the holy beings. The other animals as well. Perhaps they wear a certain mark, one only possessed by the instantly forgotten, ones that were born into this form. Whatever the answer, I am not alone. I can see them clearly now, the others like myself. Proof I no longer walk with the humans. Instead, we walk among the humans. But we are nothing like them. I watched her take things from them. I watched them forget her. She was taken off guard to see me staring at her. It was as if she thought I was a child. A grave offense. The other followed me to my kingdom, back to where I rule almighty. Not even my people could see her. I was astonished. In her unknowing fault, the woman continued with her act. I had them kill her. Death. But was she alive? The remains of her life are no more, so was she ever real? If they can't command the humans, I am still clearly God. December 22nd, 1979. A woman walked off the roof today. I stopped her the time before, but not this time. I showed her mercy, a way out, while she showed me, and I allowed her to follow the path she chose. There is this question that lingers in the back of my mind. Am I good? There are things that I have done that some would say were evil, but the people here think differently. Is there a universal moral code? When alone, I feel lethargic, and the thought of something making me feel different seems impossible. I shower myself with material and praise, but one day it's not going to be enough. After looking further for the rest of the pages, I stumbled across the old man's body. He died on his bathroom floor. Autopsy found a needle mark in his neck. Maybe someone found out before me. Maybe they have the missing journal entries. I was given a week off while a professional team cleaned out the basement, but I don't think I can go back. When the paramedics removed the body, the residents of the building all piled up around the doors to watch them take the guy away. I went back inside to ask some questions about the room to the people there, but no one remembered the paramedics coming. They didn't even have any recollection of the old man's corpse being found in the basement. Now they probably just think the town is doing them a favor by cleaning their basement. Later that day, I went to meet with the building's job supervisor at the daycare on the second floor. The children remembered. They spoke of an old man that used to wander the halls months ago, but the staff just called him an imaginary friend. Later on, an old woman stepped out of the hall to talk with me. She said the little kids could see Penther, but once they got older, they lost their gift. She told me a story. Our dog was barking at the doorway of her bedroom for hours one night. She had woken up to think there was an intruder, but she realized Penther was watching her. In the morning, she found an empty picture frame on her counter. Knowing she had been given a gift, the woman hung it on her wall. She didn't know why she was given an empty frame, but she cherished it nonetheless. I asked her if I could see it, and the lady let me into her small room to show me. There's a man's face in that frame, but she swears it's empty.